Sergio, or Sergio, Matos says, I have some doubts on how to use the term scot-free. Now, that's reasonable because it's not a particularly straightforward expression and not everybody uses it. But when we use it, it does have a particular connotation, a particular feeling, right? If somebody says that they got away with something scot-free, the connotation, maybe you wonder what's connotation? The connotation is that there are no consequences. Because sometimes you do something bad, even if it's an accident, and you're accused of something, but then finally you're released of responsibility, but there are still some negative consequences. Or you weren't caught at all, but doing the thing, right? But maybe some people ask you some questions later and you have some things to at least explain, some things to explain. Well, that wouldn't be the feeling either. The feeling is more like you avoided getting into difficulty or trouble in any kind of situation where you might get into difficulty or trouble 100%. Not just a little bit, but 100%. You completely avoided it. In which case we would say, I got away with it scot-free. There's usually a hyphen between the SCOT-FREE with the little hyphen between, right? So, how might we use that? Well, you could use it for kids, right? You might say of a 13-year-old who snuck out has to stay home and work on his homework, right? And snuck out to play with his friends when he was supposed to be working on his homework, crawled out the window, went down the street, played Dungeons and Dragons with his friends for 2 hours, came back, climbed up the outside of the house, went back through his window, and then, just in the nick of time, his mother knocked on the door. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Are you still working in there? Yep, still busy on my homework. Yes, I got away with it scot-free. And we often attach get away with something to get away with it. So what does that mean? She never suspected. She never had any idea. She did not know that I left and wasn't working on my homework at all. Yes, I did it. I got out of the situation I got out of the situation with zero responsibility or blame. Now, a lot of the time, this is used for legal stuff when we're cleared or avoid the consequences of perhaps being involved in something that's illegal. Now, I've pulled up the examples from the Free Dictionary. I often use it as a reference. I will try to always let you guys know when I use something that's an outside source or reference that's not my own, because I like to come up with my own stuff as well. So here's an example from thefreedictionary.com. If you click on the idioms tab, then you can find scot-free. It sickens me that all these bankers that ruined our economy get to go scot-free while millions of people have suffered as a result. Actually, I agree with that. Wow, that's a really good example. Not only is it grammatically correct, not only is it correct in its usage, but it's also correct in its statement about the world. So instead of get away here, we could use get away with it scot-free. They just say go scot-free, and that's okay too. That's very common as well. The bankers avoided all responsibility for the crisis that they had a part in creating. And millions of people suffered. Millions of people had to deal with the consequences. The bankers, zero accountability. They went scot-free due to an error. This is also from the Free Dictionary. Because of, D-U-E, not D-O, D-U-E, to an error in the filing of evidence by police, the suspect ended up going scot-free. going scot-free. Now, you'll also sometimes hear off scot-free, to get off scot-free. So to get away with something scot-free, to go scot-free, went scot-free, and get off scot-free. Here's an example of that one. The thief went scot-free. Jane cheated on the test and got caught, but she got off scot-free. So she was caught doing something she wasn't supposed to do, cheating on the test, but she didn't face any consequences, negative consequences whatsoever. They said, just go home. Just get out of here. Don't do it again. Nah, bad, right? So the basic idea here is it all comes back to the same thing. Whether we say get off scot-free, get away with scot-free, whether we say go scot-free, went scot-free, whatever we say, it's all coming back to the idea of no negative consequences to whoever did the wrong thing. That's the idea. Hopefully that makes it more clear, Sergio or Sergio. If you guys have any other questions about stuff like this, let me know in the comments or let me know in the next live class. Also, if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the like button and subscribe or follow so that you can see when we're doing future videos or future live streams. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you check out my full English courses in the links in the description.